Okay, I'm back again. Good evening. So, welcome. I'm Allison, and I talk a lot about land trust. So, get ready to learn a thing or two. Thank you for being here. So, I'm going to go through the process of what it would take for you to create a land trust. Okay? Excuse me. Creating a land trust for estate planning purposes involves several key steps and considerations. It's important to consult with an attorney experienced in estate planning and real estate law to help you establish a trust that meets your specific needs. Here's a general structure for creating a land trust. So, I am not an attorney, so you are welcome to consult an attorney. I do have the process in which you can create your land trust, and that is what I promote here, mostly on this program. So, number one, you need to identify the goals, your goals and objectives. Determine your estate planning goals, like what it is that you want to do, whether you're doing this, creating the land trust just to transfer this or sell this property to someone else, or you're creating it and you're holding this property and you want to ensure that your beneficiaries are taken care of, or could be any other reason why you're doing it, to hide from a creditor or something. I don't know, but these are things that land trusts have been used to cover, and so many more. So you determine your estate planning goals and how the land trust fits into your overall plan. Some common goals include asset protection, avoiding probate, privacy, and facilitating the smooth transfer of property upon your passing. And that is a very important one right there. 2, choose the type of trust, right? You have to decide on the type of trust you want. In my case, I deal with land trust, and that has only to do with property acquisitions in terms of putting properties into a land trust. There are other types of trusts that I don't really get into, but one other much more common one would be a living trust. You might have heard from that, which is completely different from land trust. A living trust is more, it covers more than just property. So it could cover your rhinestone set that you have that is so expensive at home. It covers cars who you want to leave your car to. It covers just everything that you could possibly put value to. If you have a donkey that you have had from a child and you want to pass it on to your grandkids or whomever, you can put it into a living trust. So that is a whole nother segment. If you ever need me to get into that, you can ask how that process goes. Not a problem. But as I said, I do specialize in creating an easier way for property owners to secure their properties by using land trusts, or to acquire properties by using land trusts, with a lot of issues eradicated from the process. Okay. So, number 3, you need to select a trustee. That is one of the steps. That's one of the most important steps. Without a trustee, you don't have a land trust. The trustee could be an individual, a family member that you hold dearly, and in a lot of working investors or real estate owners, like a fix and flipper or a buy and hold that does a lot of refinancing on their properties. Now, if you put it in a trust, you definitely want to have a trustee that you can access to sign up your documents as you want them to do. Whether you want to refinance or you want to transfer it to someone else or whatever it is, you want to sell it. you will want to use have the trustee accessible and not just someone that lives in England that's does like is a registered nurse that spends all their hours in the hospital, never any time available to actually do anything other, you know, that you need to process your transactions with your real estate. So you want to have a trustee that's accessible. There are some companies that does just that. You pay them a fee monthly to be your trustee, as well as you can, as I said before, you can use a relative, a friend. Your trustee is never ever going to be able to do anything on your property that you don't authorize them to do. So they're not that type of trustee that makes decision on your behalf unless you are no longer. Then the documents that you hold, not just the trustee you hold, then it passes on as a part of your estate to your beneficiaries without any hiccups. They just corroborate, is that a word? The documents to say that, yes, this is what you wanted. As well as you can also be your own trustee. Just so you know, that is a thing. It defeats the purpose because it's going to have your name. Or you could have a Wyoming LLC be the trustee, right? Because nobody knows who's the owner, right? And that's technically you, but nobody knows because I was told I need to do more investigation on that. But the premise of a Wyoming LLC is that there's no name or traces or whatever. So someone would really have to get a court order and really go and dig to come up with something. So it's land trust protects you in the sense it gives a thick layer that it's gonna take a lot of grinding and scrubbing before they could ever get you, and that's what a lot of people like. So when you're selecting a trustee, ensure that you get someone that's accessible if you're not using yourself as the trustee. So it just depends on the situation. So designate a trustee to manage the land trust. The trustee can be a family member, a trusted friend, or a professional trustee. Consider both a successor trustee. In case the primary trustee becomes unable to serve, this is a very good point, and a backup successor trustee. So you have a trustee, the primary, then you have a secondary, then you have a tertiary. So you just want to make sure that you're covered, as well as keep in mind that the only thing that will be recorded when you do put your property in a trust is the agreement, the initial agreement that states that you're transferring the property from you to the trustee, and that's what the deed will look like, right? It will have the trustee's name and it will say that you're assigning it over to them, and that's the only thing that will be recorded. Now, there are ways to get rid of that information too. So in your agreement, your land trust agreement, you have your agreement set up where you can fire your trustee, you no longer want them, or they can resign. So either way, same purpose. And you can always get another trustee. So now, if someone was even to look at the document that's there on public record, it will show the original trustee. And at this point, they don't know anything about this land trust because they're no longer involved. They can just assume, or but nobody knows who is the next trustee because that was never recorded. And that is also a legal thing according to the land trust documents that you have. So select a good trustee. They are very important, right? Draft the trust agreement. That is number 4. You need to write out what it is that you need, or get an attorney to help you to fill out, to write up a document. They usually charge about $30,000 overall, but we are not charging you that. We charge you a fraction of that cost. We are not attorneys, by the way. We're not. I am not an attorney. I could have gone to law school because I wanted to, but I am not an attorney. I am not. But I do have an attorney drafted not power of attorney, but trust document. And again, as I said in number one, you can identify your goals and your objectives and determine what is put in there or not. So you have the overall drafting of it, and and then you can put in addition following what is there already, and put what you need to be respected, and that you don't want someone to go through a whole heap of drama for at the end if you're not here. So if you're here, then you can, it's revocable, so you can change things and all that. So draft the trust agreement. Consult with an attorney to draft a comprehensive trust agreement that outlines the terms and conditions of the trust, including how the property should be managed, who the beneficiaries are, and the distribution of assets upon your passing. Okay, so number 5, transfer property to the trust. Okay, that's the whole purpose of having a trust, is to transfer a property into the trust, or some properties into the trust, right? A lot of people, they put one property in a trust, but you don't necessarily have to do that. It just depends on what is the idea, what's the goal, and so on, right? So when you transfer the property to the trust, deed the property into the trust. That's what you'll be doing. You'll be deeding the property into the trust by changing the property's title to the name of the trust. So you can put the name of the trust any which name you want to put. Tom Stokes Trust, 123 North Main Street Trust. Just don't put it in your personal name. Don't say, if your name is Harry Jones, you'll be like, or Harry Mitchell, you're gonna say Harry Mitchell's Trust. No, you don't want to do that. That would defeat the purpose, wouldn't it? So ensure that the transfer complies with local laws and doesn't trigger a due on sale clause, if applicable. We have spoken about this due on sale clause in previous sessions and recordings. So you can, check back, as well as you can message me, comment on it here, and I can explain what it is. So I won't go deep into that, but in essence, the due on sale clause has to do with the mortgage and the mortgage company. So number six, name beneficiaries. So who do you want to be your beneficiaries if you're not here? Clearly specify the beneficiaries of the trust in the trust agreement. If it's your 2-year-old son, put him in there. State what percentage you want him to have. He can't talk right now, and he doesn't need to sign. This is you doing that. So when you're no longer and you still have this property, then it will pass to your 2-year-old son, who I'm sure would be 2 at this, still. Or you'll have someone that is responsible for them, that which you would put in your will, of course. You have to do up all these things, but this will definitely ensure that if he is now 18 or 19, he can be responsible, and he doesn't have to go through any process, but know that this property is now his, right? And he sends in the documents to the mortgage company if there's still a mortgage. As long as he continues to pay the mortgage, then the property is his. He wants to sell it, he sells it, and be the beneficiary as you intended for him to be. So that's very important. These are the individuals who will ultimately inherit the property or its proceeds. Number 7, manage the trust. During your lifetime, continue to manage the property as needed, and ensure all property related expenses are paid through the trust. You have to pay the taxes, you have to pay the this, the that, the whatever, and open a trust account and ensure you pay that, or an account to facilitate the trust. It doesn't have to be like 206 North Main Trust. That it doesn't have to be that at the bank. You can, because sometimes they give you such a hard time with the land trust. They want this and they want that to open the account, and they want to, because they think everybody that does trust are gazillionaires, or they, even if you are, they want to benefit from it to tell you to do it a certain way. But you can have your trust and you can have an account open to pass through whatever it is that you're paying for your properties. So it's suggested to do that through a specific account. Just like if you have any other kind of business, LLC, corporation, or any of that. So same difference. Number 8, address contingencies. And what that means is you need to include provisions for what should happen if you become incapacitated or pass away. And that ties into the naming of the beneficiaries, I would say, such as how the property should be distributed or managed. All right. Number 9, review and update. Periodically review and update your land trust as circumstances change, such as changes in beneficiaries. You might change your mind about who you want as your beneficiary. Trustees, they might try to overstep their boundaries with your business, with your properties, so you pretty much just had to fire them. Or they might have moved away and no longer accessible to you, or they might have gotten married and the husband or the wife doesn't want them to do that anymore. You just never know. So you have to periodically review and update your agreement. And also, as I said before, the trustees or your estate planning goals might change. So, you want to revisit that if necessary. 10, consult with professionals. Consult with an attorney. I always say that because most people think they should give their monies to attorneys because they think attorneys know all, but they don't. And a lot of attorneys don't know about land trusts or trusts for that matter. But I say consult with an attorney. And consider involving an accountant or financial advisor to ensure the trust is structured correctly and complies with all relevant laws. And where the accountant comes in is that you want to ensure that when you're doing taxes, you are doing them correctly. I'm not an accountant, so I can't help you with the taxes. Yes, I can help you to understand when you do need to pay taxes, but I do not work as an accountant, so I would not be as specific, but I definitely can get you information towards what to expect an accountant would say or what questions you need to ask your accountant. I can help with that for sure. And pretty much creating a land trust for estate planning is a complex legal process if you are doing it from beginning all by yourself. I never did. So I am available to make it 1, 2, 3 seamless. Okay, when I say seamless, I mean seamless. Everything is already structured for you. It may vary based on, your individual circumstances, how we set it up. Because all the documents that I have to do with land trust may not apply to everyone. I might have a homeowner that lives at their property. They're like over 65, so they're officially retired. And they may want some, I have to be blunt, they may want some help from the government. And the first thing the government is going to look at is, oh, do you own property? But you're thinking, I need help. I'm living at this house, but I still do need help. So what? What would the government suggest? You sell the house and do what? Live under the bridge? So that they can help you with groceries, So So if you're retired and you are not secure with your finances as much as you thought you would have been, and that is a whole nother thing that I can suggest help with, because there is a whole basket full of possible options that you have. You don't have to wait until you're retired to do this. You can start from you have graduated college or wherever, and you have a secure job that you want to protect yourself and your family in case you as the main breadwinner is no longer available. You might be incapacitated, or some sort of illness making you unable to bring the income in to take care of your family immediately, or that you want support and additional income for when you are retired, and enough funds to outlast your life, right? So I know I kind of went off on a tangent, but I'm just saying, like, older people, retired people that have real estate in their names and it's their homestead, they can also put it in trust, and especially them should put it in trust for estate planning purposes, because they're older and they want to secure themselves and not leave things untidy for their kids to clean up or try to clean up, because that can be very costly. And they might end up losing, using everything that you left them in legal bills. And some of those attorneys are ruthless. So, I'm just kind of putting that out there. So, a lot of different people, not just investors, not just people that have rental properties, or people doing fix and flip, or wanting to do subject to, or wanting to buy properties that are in pre-foreclosure and trying to secure it so that they can make a payment to reinstate the loan and have this property under their hands, in essence. There are just different reasons why you should use land trust, and there are different people or groups of people that should consider putting their property in a trust, right? And it will be very beneficial. So seek professional guidance. I have experience in this. I am a professional in this, and so I look forward to talking with you more. You have any questions or comment, please drop me a message. I will respond. And you need more questions, or you need me to come in and talk to yourself, and your family members or business partners or employees, I'm available. It is a good little tidbit to give to your employees. They will love you because you thought of them, that they should be aware of how to plan their estate. If they have a home, if they plan to get a home, ways in which they can do this to secure their properties, right? So thank you again. Have a wonderful evening. I appreciate you.